There we go. Oh, hello there. Quick recap. I'm still on page 12. It's the weekend. It's Friday. Hopefully I'll get some stuff done. I've done the first two panels. Let me take the pencil layer off so you can kind of see them. So there's the first one. And I'm pretty happy with that. I'm a little iffy about my ink hatching. I posted it over at the Discord, and I was talking to Evan about it. He goes, "I think it doesn't look quite right," which I think he's probably correct. I have this theory that maybe I'll improve in about 100 pages or something, but you never know. Then I did panel 2 as well. This is Blaze. Same problem. It's just a hatching thing that I want to do this. I think these are called feathering. And the cool thing about Blaze is he always has a flaming sword, so you know which way the light is, right? So you can always throw the light from the sword, even when they're in the cave. Then I have this open panel, and I'm a little worried about this one because the figures are quite small. Um, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best. Because what else can you do? You can only do your best. Part of the problem of this panel is I don't remember if we're lower or higher than I think we're lower than the characters, which would mean that this contour is reversed, but not by much. Maybe it's just straight on. And because he's an animal character with fur, his outside contour lines are furred, but didn't have long. Like this isn't Sasquatch fur, or bear fur, or something like that. It's more like, he's a lion, so you gotta do it a little bit differently. Okay. Same problem. I've got the flaming sword. When they were designing Iron Man, those first few Iron Man comics, every time the artist changed, um, they would do something a little different with the armor. And sometimes the armor was soft. It was almost like cloth. You would actually see him rolling his sleeves up, as he's taking it off or something. And then sometimes the armor was like a hard shell. This is in the Silver Age period. Then by the end it was like this briefcase. It was pretty close to what they kind of did in the movie where he had the portable version of it that he could just put on the gloves and then it would just kind of form over him or whatever. I remember there was a briefcase version of it. It was very but it was almost like a super spy detail. All right. Same deal here with the feathering. I want the feathering to go towards the light. Looking at my art for the Beast Rangers, and I know that it is neither traditional comic art, nor especially cartoonesque. It's got a grittiness to it that is different than a lot of the animal art that I've seen. It makes me wonder. What do I need to do to improve it? Like when I first started, I was thinking, oh, I could do, like, I may not be able to do sort of realistic figure drawing. Although I don't think I'm as bad as some. But there's so much interpretation that you can put into a drawing like that. Just why, C.C. Beck can live alongside of, I don't know, who's a typical Superman artist of the time. Neil Adams, I like C.C. Beck better, I have to admit. I just think he's more fun. All right, here's Snapper. The way I generally want to play this is get the outside outline first. I decided I don't know if I'm going to have them. I had this whole sequence where they get captured, like where Celeste goes off to get Fang, and then these two guys get captured, knocked out by the stun rods, while she's going to get Fang. But I think what I'll have is it would add a whole I think it would add about 9 pages, and I'm thinking, well, it'd just be just as good if I had her meet him already coming back. And we could still have Snapper knocked out, Blaze surrounded, and then have Fang and Blaze kind of fighting together to show that they've overcome their differences. This is an amazing cartoonist kayfabe today of the bootleg death of Superman, or rather, the death of power. Oh my lord. That's too far for me. I would never do a comic like that. But he's got it set up on his Etsy site for $10, and I bet you he's making sales. He's better than I am by far. This guy, I think his name is Rob Kirtland, I think. Don't quote me on that. You just check out the video and you'll see the links and everything. And they actually go through the whole comic. um, the bootleg death of Superman's funny. So I do want to come up with something like that. Maybe a storefront. I have sold stuff on eBay, on Etsy before. It's an Etsy shop. I could do an eBay and an Etsy shop. The point being, it's not really automated. It's you have to maintain it. But my output, and I'm on track for, I think I should beat 150 pages this year, I hope. Of which, what gets published out of that? Well, hopefully I'll have 64 pages, if not more, by June. And then we can get on to other projects and such. All right, here's the danger. This is what's actual size. Here's a comic book. Okay, a little bit smaller. The comic book page is about this size. And I think I'm about right on the lettering, right? Take a look at my vintage issue of Freedom Fighters. Maybe it's a little bit smaller. Okay, and I'm like, yeah, okay, so let's take a look at the figures. She's even smaller. So I think this is about right. In reality, this, we've shrunk it down. This is 11 by 16. This is how big it is. And then, when we print it, when we shrink it down for print, we want to make sure that the figure is big enough to be understood. Oh, look at that. Who's the artist on this? It's Ramona Freydon. Yes. You see that? I don't know, is that Ramona Freydon and Vince Coletta? Ben Oda's letter. Jerry Conway is guidance. These are all the characters that they bought from Quality Comics, by the way. There's Black Condor, created by Will Eisner. Human Bomb, The Ray, Doll Man, Phantom Lady, and special guest star Wonder Woman. Alrighty. Ramona Freydon. Nice. I like her. So, my fear was that if the figures are too small, the lines will be too thin, and it won't pop off the page, at the right resolution. But I feel like it will now. I feel pretty vindicated about the size. All right. In fact, this is actually kind of a standard superhero full body size anyway. Sweet. I got the right brush. Another shout out to Peter DeLuca, aka Pad. He saw the same thing I did with Dan Frega expressing a little bit of annoyance that he'd been quote unquote canceled. And I mentioned something on his channel on I'm an AKA patter. That's a shtick, man. That's pretty cool. I'm like, why treat Dan that way? It's so effed up because he's such a cool guy. I mean, he's a nice guy. And then I saw something similar, like another video about the exact same situation. And Shelley Lepresti, who is Aaron Lepresti's wife, actually kind of chimed in and said, "Look, they did the same thing to us. Not the kayfabe guys, but you know, I'm a huge fan of Aaron Lepresti. Wow, that guy's great." The other thing is, these are really nice people. Shelley was going through um, chemo, I think, at the time for breast cancer. She might have had operations or something. I can't remember all the stuff that was going on. It was a lot. There was like tons of stuff going on. All right, let's see. I just think it's vicious, uncool. On the one hand, luckily it's so common and nobody really takes it seriously anymore when you're so-called canceled. Happened to me. I got canceled. All right, hang on. That's what Evan told me when we were looking at my inking. He said your line weights are good, but your feathering's not quite there yet, and I think he's totally right. I said it'll only take me about 100 more pages to get it. I should say stuff like that because, like, what if it takes you, 500 more pages to get it? What then? All right, hang on. We got these dudes fighting back to back. He should have Shadow this way because he's behind Blaze. I'm just now getting to the point where, you know how I do my focus line bit? Um, I'm getting now to the point where I can do, like, see how these are slightly curved? There's no ruler. I just did it. Like, that is an accomplishment to me. All right, see how we're doing this? We're throwing in some shadow lines. One of the benefits of working digitally is you can use your eraser to create some marks. I'll go nuts with it. All right, Snapper is looking pretty good. And there's going to be a drop shadow underneath here, and then luckily, and even if she couldn't do this, I would still do it. Celeste can fly, so we can actually put her on a level above. This was like one of the last things. The class didn't last really long enough, but the class I had with Tom Mandrake, he's like, try and get these if you have these, you want to stack your figures, try and get them on another level so that you don't have to stick everybody at the bottom of the panel. You want to use the whole panel. So maybe we make like, a little cave outcropping and put her on top. But since she can fly, you can just put her right there and it's fine. And I thought, oh, that's really smart. His axe is starting to power up with power. Because he does like a power shot over here. All right, let's see if we can get her. These are her shoulder pieces, which are like, it's almost like a fold. So we can go to complete black. Oops. Speaking of Ramona Freydon, I was looking at some of her work that was on like auction sites, and one was a commission that somebody asked of her to do with the Hulk, and it was really um, she had done it really kind of cartoony, and it was really fun. It was really cool. It was like this kind of gummy looking Hulk, as only Ramona Freydon could draw him. She drew like Metamorpho. So imagine like a big blocky Metamorpho, but in Green Hulk form. That same kind of 60s cartoon style. All right. I think the star points towards her fist. She's got stars all over her costume. There's a star at the front right here. But she's going to have the same lighting issue. I'm looking at I think I mentioned this earlier, but John Severin's art for Billy the Kid. And it's just some of it's just great. I'm not even sure I like how he draws horses. He does kind of a weird thing around the horse nose. But everyone draws these things a little different. Drawing those horses, man, it's a skill. All right. Now, same deal. At this point, I have all of the main figures. I don't have the what I call a wet shadow down here. Ooh, I don't like that. I want to make sure that this flame really pops. One of the things that Ed Piscor mentioned on Cartoonist Kayfabe gave me some pause for thought, and he's like, "I'm glad this isn't black and white because there's only a few artists that could do black and white." Like, oh no, because that means I'm not on the list, obviously. Um, it is hard to do black and white really well, but I just don't want to do color. It's just not my thing, unless I'm working with Jake. I think if we drop the black shadows around the flame, it seems to kind of set it off a little bit. Maybe it's not. Maybe I can just halo it a little bit. Alrighty. All right, let's throw down these shadows. Thought. Okay. Steady Rangers, just as we trained for. I could put it there. I could put it low too. I think that might be better right here. Well, let's see. If it doesn't work out, we'll do it. We'll put it somewhere else. It's not bad. I don't like this right here, but okay. Now, how do we make this into this wet shadow? Probably could have put this on its own layer. Whoops. You know what's wrong with it? It's not a good brush. What do you think? Maybe? I'm taking a chance with this. All right. Well, it's looking okay. I think we are going to put some light kind of, it's like focus lines, but it's fewer. There's not as many. Let's do it on another, and just in case this doesn't work out. Drawing guide, perspective on the sword. Right? I don't like that one. Whoops. I like it when it's a little further out. This seems to kind of work. Let's take it out of it. Let's remove the hole. How does it look? Like there are parts of it that look quite right. So we get the sense that the Beast Rangers have formed this defensive circle in the light, and the leather wings are held at bay, kind of. I think this looks good. We're gonna combine. Okay, we're good. Oops. All right. That's okay. This wet shadow came out better than I thought it would, so I'll keep it. It's kind of like a puddly area, sort of, in the cave. It's okay to double up on your lines that are far on the far side of the light. It looks about right. All right. Please like, follow, subscribe. I'll be working on this through the weekend. Hopefully, we'll get started on page 13 by tomorrow. But if not, we'll see me on page 12 tomorrow. And slowly, by hook or by crook, we should get done with this comic. My goal is to make it to 16 pages and not go over, but we'll see what happens. Brillig turned out to be 31 pages, so who knows? All right.